Cheers, successful guys. 2023.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'll talk about whatever. My life's all kinds of crazy.
Hit the bell!
Because you have an Android.
Oh, yeah. That's like, this sucks.
Just subscribe already.
Dig into.
No, we're good.
Cool.
We're good.
Well, welcome to the podcast. Are you okay with jumping right into it?
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. One thing I want to say before we get too far into it, because you're a doctor,
Yes.
right? So how should someone address you? Is it because Ariel calls you Dr. Scott?
Yeah.
But that's your first name, not your last name. You guys, YouTube's telling me that 75% of you guys are not subscribed. That's absolutely insane because I upload almost every single day. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe with the bell so you guys never miss a video.
Right.
So, from my understanding, that came from a time in your life when you were working with, there was two doctor, or what was the story behind that? Why did she call you Dr. Scott?
I think it's more personable.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Instead of saying Dr. Klein, that just sounds so harsh.
Do you not like Dr. Klein?
Well, no, not really.
So most of your clients that come to you, they're calling you Dr. Scott?
Yeah, Dr. Scott. And most of the time, if somebody's been coming to me for 2 years or a year, 2 years, they respect what I do. They just call me Scott, and I have no problem with that.
That's something I was going to ask too.
Yeah.
Because I know a teacher. Oh, here, let me actually close the door real quick. If my AC or something kicks on.
Oh, will it start blasting? We'll just cut that.
Probably up his mic a little bit. I'm just looking at the
Okay.
audio thing.
Yeah, that's good. But like a teacher, you call a teacher by their first name, they get upset. Mm-hmm. It's Miss or Mister, whatever. That's a big deal for them. They earn that title. But it's not. You're not like a stickler on that.
No, that's an ego thing.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's one of my biggest concerns whenever I'm meeting someone with that title, because it's like I don't want to insult them when I meet them. I think when you came, I don't know if I said it today or not, but in my head, I would probably, if I wasn't sure, I'd probably say Dr. Scott Klein. No?
Just even like today, just Scott.
Scott's fine.
Yeah, it works. We had one patient. I actually still take care of her, but her husband had a lot of health issues. Nobody could figure out what was going on. They went to every single neurologist in the area. Nobody knew. Came to us. We explained what was going on. He got under care, did amazing. Not necessarily fixed everything, but he got back to where he wasn't just sitting in a chair all day. He was able to get back to work. And she said, "Screw doctors. You guys are not doctors because doctors are quacks. You guys know what the heck is going on." And it was just a weird but awesome experience at the same time.
Yeah, because how many doctors out there really are quacks, right? I mean, there is a lot of them that are not doing the right thing.
Yeah, but and that's where branching out and doing the right thing is a lot different than the status quo and what you learn in school and what you're told to do. And it does suck because we do have those barriers and those limitations of what we can do, can't do, can say, can't say.
Yeah.
As an example, last couple of years.
So we're going to dive maybe a little bit into that.
Maybe.
But so for you, is that a big reason why you went into chiropractic? Because you didn't really like the way maybe another style doctor does his practices? Is that a big reason for it?
Not
what was a big reason for going into chiropractic? What was a big drive there?
So when I was somewhere around 12 or so, went to a chiropractor. I had a lot of low back issues, knee problems as well, and I had knee problems throughout my whole family.
Is that genetic?
No. And that's what I learned in chiropractic school, was that just because you or your family has knee problems, your destiny is not to have knee problems. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that you live a similar life and you do similar things to your family members, you typically end up having the same or similar outcomes, at least.
Gotcha.
So I was 12 years old, went to him, low back, knee issues, didn't even touch my knee. Low back issues got better, knee issues got better. I didn't understand why until I went to school, but what that chiropractor also didn't tell me was that my asthma might get better, because I was diagnosed with asthma when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Advair, or not Advair. Yeah, it was Advair. It was like a daily corticosteroid, then the rescue albuterol that I had to take all the time because, you know, running basketball, running baseball, I couldn't run up and down a basketball court without having that inhaler in my pocket.
Yeah.
But he
So
didn't
going to him, did it fix it?
helped. Did I actually have asthma, or was there something else going on? Just my body hyper reacting to the
Or
situation.
maybe just being out of, like, could have been just like out of place where like it was just, your body was just struggling because of something.
Yeah.
Because that's basically how your knees were too, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, you didn't have knee problems. You had some other problem going on, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what it was?
So it can be one of the two, right? It could be actual, you know, knee problems, or it could be the low back problems causing the knee issues as well.
And in your case, you think that's what it was?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a catcher in baseball, so always up, down all the time. That takes a toll. That takes a little beating on the body. But same thing with the asthma. I don't know if it was true asthma, because anybody out there that knows what true asthma feels like, I mean, you got this one airway and it just, it closes down. It becomes so inflamed that it closes down and you're just wheezing for air. And that's what was happening. But at the same time, I don't know if it was actual asthma or, like you said, something was just not functioning properly.
Well, you think if it was actual asthma, you'd still have it. That's what I would think.
Yeah, symptomatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that is tough on a little kid. Very tough on a kid. I remember, and my dad was a smoker. Like I grew, and he smoked in the house. Like, so it wasn't like, you know, there's some parents that their dad smokes or mom smokes but they go outside and smoke on the back porch. No, my dad and my uncle, we could be in the van. My dad drove a van. We could be in his vehicle and he would crack the window
A little
bit. Roll out. But it's not like I'm still freaking inhaling all this stuff. Like everything smells like smoke. And so that was the fear of mine growing up. And my nephew actually had it, which I have a nephew that's close to my age.
Yeah.
Like very close to my age. And he had it. And I remember the kind of problems he had. And I just remember like always thinking like, oh, I'm going to end up with asthma because my dad smokes. And I never did. I don't know if I just got lucky with it all, but it was definitely something that's like,
It wears.
yeah, because I was big into sports. So like I'm a very active kid. Like I'm not into sports as much now. I'm more into like, I like doing things that I'm competing against myself. I don't like competing against other people.
Right.
Like for me, I don't know why I'm just like not, like the idea of having to compete against someone else, I have no ambition for. But when it comes, like that's why I was a skateboarder growing up. And that's why I really, yeah, believe it or not. And that's why I really fell in love with it, because it was something I could play by myself. Yeah. And it was like me every day out there trying to learn new tricks and try to get better. And I played basketball, soccer, baseball, and I enjoyed them. But it was something about like, even the kids on my team were almost competitive against me. And I didn't like that. Like I was like, whenever we skateboarded, it was like me and a group of friends, and we would be teaching each other how to do these tricks. We'd all go inside, we watch videos on it, we try to figure it out, and we'd like watch what they're doing, and we'd be like, oh no, you're doing this wrong, and that's why I just gravitated more to that, because it was just something I could do by myself versus competing with the whole team. Because a lot of times I felt like my team didn't want me, they wanted to be the star player on the team. They didn't want me to be the star player on the team. And so I felt like that's where like at a young age I started like pushing away from that kind of stuff.
That's what and that's a really good thing that you figured that out early, because it is you against you, right? You shouldn't be competing against somebody else, although, you know, sports you are. But if you're just trying to get better than you were yesterday, that's all that counts.
Yeah. And I didn't realize I loved that at a young age so much. I realized what I didn't like at a young age, and then just started doing what I liked. But it wasn't until I got older that I'm like, oh, I like competing against myself, like just trying to be better every single day. So the chiropractic, so it was at a young age, you went to a chiropractor, he helped you with a lot of your problems, and you're like, this is what I want to do.
No.
No?
No, not even close, because besides him, the only other vision, I guess, of a chiropractor that I ever saw was from 2.5 Men, with Charlie and his brother Alan. Alan was a chiropractor living on Charlie's couch. And I thought that would be my destiny if I became a chiropractor, was I wouldn't be able to help anybody make any money. I'd be living on my dad's couch for the rest of my life. And that was what I saw as a chiropractor. But then, of course, went to school, met a lot of people, and I realized now that
What made you go to school for it, though?
So, ex-girlfriend,
Okay.
old girlfriend, whatever you want to say.
Sure.
She had terrible low back issues, and so I just wanted to help her. I thought I'd already been in like a PT program at another school. Didn't really like PT. It was just kind of boring to me. And
So
then,
you started off school going for physical therapy?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So like all the internships that you do in high school, senior year, we could do some internships instead of going to school. So I interned at a PT office, wanted to go the PT route, and I didn't really like it.
Gotcha.
But I just really wanted to help her.
Sure. And so anyone that's listening to the podcast right now, you're originally from Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
So you're from Cleveland. Did you go to school in Cleveland? Because this is something I don't want to just skip over, right? Like I want to make sure that this is talked about in the podcast too. Where did you go for the PT? Well, in high school.
Yeah.
So was it by the time you were done with high school, you realized you didn't like PT? Or did you said you went to college for a little bit?
Yeah, I
for
went
PT.
a little bit of college for PT. So
Was that in Cleveland though?
one of the years, but no. So high school was in Cleveland area. I went to Erie, Pennsylvania for my freshman year. Got into the 4+3 PT program that they had.
Why there?
My dad.
Okay.
Honestly, I just wanted to go JUCO. Go to a junior college, play some baseball, have some fun, and then ship out somewhere south. Florida, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, somewhere south so I can just play year round. But he wanted me to go there. It was a private school, really, really good accolades at that school, but it was super expensive. So I went there. They had snow on the ground from probably the second month of school until April. I'm almost positive they set the record of Erie, Pennsylvania for snow that year, and I said I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gone.
Yeah.
I love snow for a month, 2 weeks, whatever. But after that, it just
Yeah, just to see it. You want to see it because it's pretty, it's nice, but yeah, it gets old. It's like it's just it sucks to be outside in, right? It's you're going outside, you have to be bundled up in jackets, you're freezing, but it also just makes everything nasty. Your vehicles are getting nasty because they're putting salt down, so you can't have a nice vehicle. You're tracking into your car, you're tracking in your house. Everything's muddy. It sucks.
It's terrible.
It does suck.
And I had to walk everywhere because it was in like downtown Erie, so we just walked everywhere. It was like 5-6 blocks walk to all the
Your
buildings.
shoes are all wet. Your feet are wet when you're walking. It's miserable.
I wore obviously the same boots, but also the same sweatpants every single day to class, and I didn't care if they smelled or not because those were wet and dirty and dingy, and I just wore those.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you did that for a
sorry.
year. Sorry, one that's listening had to deal with that.
Yeah, so I did that for a year, went back home to Cleveland, went to my local JUCO there, played baseball there, finished off, I think like an Associate of Arts, just because anywhere that I transferred to, I needed some associate degree or else I'd be taking a lot of the prereqs again at that other college. I wanted to graduate on time.
I've heard this before because I have a friend that went to school, had associates in arts. They say it is the number one wasted financial degree you can get. Like it's like the hardest degree to get any job in.
Yes.
And I think it has I think you have like all these qualifications that you need, and then when you get out, like they basically get you no job at all. That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's meaningless.
But you just needed it. You just had to choose a field,
yeah.
just something so you get your associates, and that was just one. You're like, okay, this is one I like.
Yeah, it was easy. I had to take, I think, the least amount of classes to get it. It was either like an Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science or something.
Gotcha.
It was something little stupid, but that allowed me to transfer just about anywhere to any D1, D2, what have you.
So you're gonna still play baseball.
Yeah.
Like that was your big thing. You want to play baseball.
Yeah, I just wanted to play as long as I could.
Did you have scholarships through it all?
Whenever I went back to the JUCO, yeah, I got some scholarship there, and then I just went to the first school that paid me the most, and that got me the full ride down to New Mexico.
So, okay, so you did a year in Pennsylvania now. You did a year back in Cleveland. And then now you go back, now you're moving to New Mexico?
Yeah, went to Nowheresville, New Mexico. It's eastern New Mexico in a little town called Portales. Great little town. I mean, it had 3 gas stations, 1 McDonald's. Great burrito place. I promise you, if you ever go to New Mexico, burritos, you have to find like a breakfast burrito place. Nowhere else makes them like they do.
Okay. So how long did you spend down there?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, so I finished out my bachelor's down there, played baseball, had a lot of fun. I knew I wasn't really going to the next level, so I just had as much fun as I could. There are a lot of guys a lot better than me. And once you go down south and you play against all those Texas boys and the California boys, you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I've been playing nobody this whole time.
Yep.
They're good.
Yeah.
They are good.
See, and I talk about that kind of stuff too. Is like if you know what industry you're wanting to really be in, the sooner you can just get yourself around those kind of people, the better. Because yeah, by the time you're third year in college, wanting to play baseball, and you think you're pretty good, and then you go and play against some real good people, and then you're like, oh, okay, reality check. Yeah. So like that, I see, because I remember we had a really good football team in my area going up in high school, and they were good for our area. And then all of a sudden, this was like these boys. I mean, we watched them like growing up. They lost one game in like 3 or 4 years, and it was like after like 3 years, it was like 3 or 4 years. But it was the last game they won, and they're like, okay, we want to see if these boys are really that good or if it's just this area that they're that good in. And they had a team from Kansas City come out. This is like not even. It was just like a better area, better district in Kansas City, and they came out and just wiped them. Like they didn't score one time on them. Jeez. And it was a big reality check for them. I think they like made them just realize like, hey, like just same thing. Enjoy the time and what you're doing now, because there's gonna be a time whenever you guys take it on to the next level, and it's just gonna be different. Right. It's not always gonna be like that. No. Okay, so then New Mexico.
Yep.
And then you got your bachelor's degree.
Yep. And that's where I met the girl that I wanted to help, was at New Mexico. I think it was my senior year.
Okay.
I met her like first week of senior year.
So you're still going. Okay, so you dropped out PT. Now, when you go to New Mexico, what are you going for there? What's your bachelor's in? Do you know?
I do. So I could go one of two ways. I could have gotten my bio pre-med degree, and I saw the classes that it was going to take to get that, and
which is like what? What's bio pre-med lead you to in your future?
More or less, it probably would have taken me to any kind of doctorate school, because I don't know how much that you could actually do with a bio pre-med, but it's more so that pre-med I guess step into medical school.
Gotcha.
That's kind of where the route that most of those go.
Medical school, which then being a doctor.
Right. And I went the easy route of sports management, so I could go be a coach.
Sure.
Right. Or a teacher or something of that sort. So I took that approach. It was a lot easier on me playing baseball, putting more time towards baseball and being able to at least take the classes in an easy fashion, I guess.
Sure.
Not kind of skate through school, but kind of skate through it.
I'm sure now looking back on it, you can say that. But like at the time, like you still like have to show up to class. You still have homework. You're still learning things. There's still lessons and all this stuff. Like it's not just easy. Like it's not just showing up. Because I didn't go to college very much, and I didn't take no hard classes, but it's still work. Yeah, you're still showing up. So I totally understand that. Like in a lot of the classes, it's like you're there and you're like, why am I doing this? Like, do I actually really need this, or is this just a filler class that I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for? That is really not going to benefit me at all. So I can totally understand that.
Right.
So then you get that, and then do you end up in Missouri?
No. Well, yeah, kind of. So what I wanted to do was go back to PT school, or even become a PTA, a physical therapy assistant, for that girl. And I was like, man, I just got my bachelor's, a PTA degree. I think it was, at the time at least, it was an associate's degree. So I would have gone back to school for another 2 years to get an associate's degree. And that was just stupid. Mm-hmm. So then I guess third option was chiropractic school. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess that kind of led me all the way to Missouri then.
Yeah, how'd you? Because you went to Logan University, right?
Yeah,
Why Logan University?
they were the first ones that accepted me.
Oh, really? That's as simple as that.
So I was going to start applying to 4 or 5 different schools. I had one down in Tampa, one in South Carolina, I believe, and I applied to Logan on a Wednesday. Wednesday night or so, get a call Thursday morning. Hey, you've been accepted, and I said, cool.
Yeah.
She said, aren't you more excited? I'm like, no, I just applied last night. You guys accepted me today, and I come to find out they basically accept everybody.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually heard it's a pretty good school.
It is a very good school.
Okay.
Right. They have turned it more into a business, which everybody should turn everything into more of a business, a more profit model. But they do accept a lot of people that should or should not be there. I don't know. But if they have that drive to get a doctorate and become a chiropractor, then do it. Mm-hmm.
Hindsight, it seems like it worked out pretty well, though.
Yeah, it was hard. It was grueling, man.
It's just the school itself?
Just the school.
Because of the crap you had to go through? So after that, how long? Because chiropractor school is like 7 years you buckled down?
It's 5 years of school wrapped into 3.5-ish. And to take that a step back, before I even went to school, I got accepted, whatever, I looked at the schedule. Right. And, undergrad, you take somewhere like 12 to 18 credits. You're considered a full-time student. Mm-hmm. Looked at the first semester of chiropractic school, and I think it was like 32 credits.
Whoa.
And I go, no way.
Yeah.
They're just joking around. This was a typo, whatever. Sure enough, I get there, 32 credits. We're in class from 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m., sometimes 5:30. Just depends on what semester you're in. I think they maxed out at like 36 credits per a semester. It's like, oh my gosh.
That's like I remember kids doing that, and whenever I was just going to get my associates, and that was like the overachievers.
Right.
They were really trying to grind to get all those extra classes, and I was like, there ain't no way I did 14. I'm like, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, that's enough.
And so you're doing over double that.
Yeah. And
can you work while you're doing that?
A lot of people did. I did not. I didn't.
When you find the time?
Most of them were servers. So, you'd go to class until 4:30. You go to work at 5, serve from 5 to close. I don't know how they went home and they studied or
how do you have any time to get anything done?
I have no idea, but I give them all the credit in the world for doing that because there was a lot of them. I didn't think that I could, and I didn't want to sacrifice the $10,000-$15,000 per a semester to make $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah.
So
which would probably end up making you fail a class or something.
It could. Yeah, it could have.
I know for me it would because whenever I'm somewhere, I want to be all there.
Right.
Right. Like I want to be. But if I just got done doing school all day, it would be weighing on me when I was at my work. Because I'm like, man, I got this homework assignment I got to do, and I'll be just thinking about it. I wouldn't be able to go all in on just being at work or being at school. Because even when I was in school, I tried to, because I was broke. I was young and broke, and I was like, I got to get a job because I wasn't making any money in college, and I could barely afford just to drive to the school,
right?
Let alone go to school or just survive. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I got a job in a factory, working second shift, and I was only going to school 3 days a week, which definitely helped. So on the off days, it was no big deal, but I was working 8-hour days, second shift. I had no time to do anything else. Like I remember when I started working at this job, that was my last semester in school. That's when I was like, this ain't for me. Like I wasn't focused on school at all anymore. And like all my grades were reflecting all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyone that does them both, like kudos to them because that's extremely hard, I would say.
Right.
Extremely hard.
There were three or four parents in my class, and I give them more credit than anybody else because I know 2 of the guys, they had 3 kids apiece. And then the one lady, Ashley, she had her little girl while we were in school. And that was, I think, her 4th. I think they're on 5 kids now.
Holy cow.
She had her 4th kid in school. She was just sitting in class, feeding the little baby.
They brought their baby to class?
Yeah.
They didn't care?
Oh, no. We didn't care either.
That's nuts. That is insane. That probably made class more interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have a baby just crapping and crying in the back of the room. That'd be distracting for me.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, she brought her little girl to school all the time until we had to get into student clinic. At that point, she couldn't bring her to school. So I think she had a semester or two where she had her in class with us, you know, taking tests, doing work, whatever. And I give her more credit than anything because she didn't. I don't think she failed nothing. And she did. I mean, I give her more credit than anybody.
Now, surely these people have a spouse helping out.
Yeah.
Something. It got to
yeah.
be something like that because there's no other way you could do it.
No, I know her husband worked. I'm pretty sure, and even if the spouse wasn't working, they do have a lot of grants out there for families going back to school like that. So I think a lot of them took out grants and loans just to help, obviously, house, car payment, food, everything with the kids.
The loan part of it's still scary though. A grant is like, okay, you have no weight on your shoulder. But when you take out a loan, now you also have the pressure of what happens if I fail? What happens if this doesn't work out? I still got to pay this loan back. Because student loans are the one loan that never disappears. Like you can, like me, I have a $500,000 building. It has some real estate. I have all this stuff. But if I decide to go bankrupt one day, it all just gets wiped clean.
Right.
But a student loan, that follows you forever. And I've learned along the way that the reason for that is because that's a government loan versus everything else is like a private through a bank or whatever. So those can get washed, but the government's not going to let you just walk away with their money.
They're going to try.
Yeah. And it's just going to destroy your credit and just I'm the most debt I ever got in from school was like a couple books. I think I was like $500 in debt. So like I got really lucky because I was just looking at like I had no clue what I was going to go to school for. I was just showing up every day, and I was going to school because I liked the idea of business at a very young age.
Yeah.
So I went to school for business management, which is just like you're just a manager. You know, you're not owning a business, you're just managing a business. And even then I was like, I'm never like at the time I didn't think I was going to be anything like that. So I was like, I got to get out.
Right.
Like I'm just wasting my time and my money. And, you know, like my parents were helping me along the way too, like just where they could, if it's a little bit of gas money or just something. I mean, I don't know how I made any money for a while. I was just like scraping by for the longest time. And I knew that I was like, this isn't for me. Like, this is not what I want to do. And at the time it was scary to drop out of school and just kind of, because everybody says like, go to school, get a good job. Like that's like the thing. Like they make you think that if you don't go to college, you're not going to be nothing in life. And like I remember thinking that after high school. I remember people just being like, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that." You know, and they're like, I just remember how like superior college just made people seem. And I know people that went to college and did very well. But I also know some people that went to college and struggle very hard still very hard. And like my sister, I don't know, I wouldn't say she regrets it, but I would say she regrets the school she went to. 'Cause she went to SLU. And it was like, if she could go back in time, she's like, I would go to the cheapest school I could find. Because she works for St. Louis Crime Lab. She does like, she's like studies bullets. Like she analyzes like crime scenes and stuff, like the bullets on the crime scene. Yeah. And cool job. But she's just like, they don't care where I went to school. They just want to know that I can do my job. And that's what I tell a lot of people. I'm like, just go and like get the basics done. Like, especially like the kids that are going to tech schools. Like these tech schools are like pushing to get like a bachelor's degree while you're there as well. And I'm like, everyone I talk to, I'm like, no, you can get certified and just get out. Like the welding shop does not care if you know like Calc 3 or anything like that. Like they just want to know, can you weld this thing up and not let it leak? Like that's what they want. They want nice, clean beads. And they want you to show up on time every single day. You know, they want someone that's not going to call into work on a Friday because they got too drunk with their friends on Thursday, or, you know, they want to just make sure that you're there and you're coherent and know what you're doing, and someone that they can trust day in and day out. Like that's what really matters.
Yeah, and get to work.
Get to work and work hard while you're there. There's like this misinterpretation that you got to spend like a certain amount of money and have like certain pieces of paper. And it's like, it's not like that at all.
Right. No, I think it was after high school, or it was after my freshman year. I almost took a job where I was working service for a city. It was really Parks and Rec, so we were just cutting grass, but the service position opened up and I almost took it. And everybody there, all the cops, all the people working there said, you would be stupid to take this job. But I was thinking, 30 years down the road, because government job, really good retirement benefits, really good pension. I mean, I'd only need to put in 30 years, and I would have been out by the time, I would have been retired at 52 or 51 or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too bad to me.
No,
right?
it doesn't. That sounds pretty nice.
Right.
What do you think you'd be doing right now if you took that job?
If I took that job, I wouldn't be working there anymore. And I probably would have gone to like a trade school for welding or become an electrician or something. That's probably what I would have done had I taken that. Because politics got involved with that job, and they slashed a lot of positions, and they messed it all up. But anywho,
No, and actually, that's what happens in government jobs like that. I got a friend that works for the county, and he does like the asphalt, and he actually works at heavy equipment. He's like the heavy equipment operator for the county. But when he started working there, it was the best job ever. He loved it. Great benefits, great pay, all this stuff. But then all of a sudden, politics get involved, and now people's like all their insurance is getting cut down, the benefits are getting cut down, just like the way they run the business is getting like insanely strict, and like he's to the point now where he's wanting to quit, but he's like, well, what do I do now? Because he has. Luckily for him, he got certified. Now he can at least drive heavy equipment, so he can go somewhere and do that. But it's a very competitive. It's tough. Those blue collar ones are very tough because a lot of times they want you to start off. It's like the employer versus the employee. Like you're competing, like to try to get the best pay. The employer's trying to get the best pay. The employee's trying to get the cheapest pay. I feel like most of the time, that's how I feel like it is.
Yeah.
And so it's like this competitiveness thing, and that's a big reason why I'm like, you should almost go into business for yourself, because then you get to choose, in a sense. You don't exactly get to choose, but if you want to make more money, you can work harder and try to make more money. But as an employer, a lot of times you just work harder and you just make your boss a lot more money.
right, and that's where I wanted to be that boss.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make somebody more money. If I was going to put in more work, I wanted to reap the rewards.
Yeah, that's exactly how it should be, and that's what I try to tell a lot of people too. That especially like I got a friend that's in HVAC, and he's great at it. He's working for he's bounced around for multiple companies, just whoever basically wants to pay him more. And in our area, there's not a good HVAC company. I'm like, dude, you should just go out on your own.
Just start it.
Yeah, you should just do it. Like you'll figure it out as you go. Like there's books, there's people that will help you. I'll help you. He has a significant other that will help him at the beginning, like just help him get started. I'm like, you could do it. Like there's a need in our area, you should just go for it. But he had 3 boys, and it's hard to when you got things like that, you gotta, like for me, I don't have kids, so I don't have that that worry. I don't have that thing to think about, like, hey, I got to make sure these 3 boys get fed every day. He has that. So that's like the one big thing holding back. And he'll say it too. He's like, I got to make, these boys are number one in my life. They got to get fed first. So I think he'll do it eventually. I think he's just like saving up, just plotting it. The more I talk to him, and the more like he thinks about it more and more. And even his significant other now is like, hey, you should. It's time. Do it. Just go out and do it. And I think that's the biggest fear, starting it
Right.
at the beginning.
Yeah, just taking that leap. And that's how my buddy is. He's like an operator, kind of like your buddy. He wants to start I think it's like a landscaping business, right? He wants to cut grass, but then also, I forget what he calls it. When you put all the lighting in your landscaping, doing that, making it look just super nice. He's done a couple of jobs, and he absolutely loves it. And I keep trying to kick him in the ass and say, hey, go.
Do it.
Just do it, right? But he does have one on the way. But I want to get him to at least take that jump before that happens, because if he doesn't take that jump before his boy is here, I don't know if he'll ever do it.
Yeah.
So, Sean, do it.
Yeah, Sean, just do it, man. Even if it's just like doing it like where you can find a way to take off like a couple hours early every day, and then just book those couple extra hours. Or even if it was like you get off at 3:30 and you work till 6, just to plug in that time. Like tell your wife, like, hey, I'm gonna work a little late tonight, but I'm trying to do this for a benefit of our future. Like you find some time, and like he doesn't have to go in that instance. Like he can start building some jobs up on the side And then all he has to do is just like, because that might help him build confidence too.
Right.
Like, oh, I got 10 jobs lined up, or I got like so many jobs lined up. And then it gets to the point where he's just like, all right, I'm going to do this on my own. I don't need this employer to tell me
What to do?
what to do. Be here at 7 a.m. and work till this and take your lunch break here. And, you know, like I actually almost thank my old employer for not paying me enough and being too controlling. Because whenever I went to, my phone's listening to our conversation here. It's kind of creepy.
I think they're all listening.
At least she tells me. But yeah, but like when I was like getting ready to make my leap, it was because I was way underpaid. I should have been making way more money because I was just doing so much for this body. I was a body man painter. I painted cars for a living, and I had learned so much, put so much into it, and I could paint 4 cars in a day if I wanted to, but they pay me the same if I painted 2 or if I painted 4. So I just painted 2 every day, and you know I just if they would have paid me more, I guarantee I would have bought a nicer house. I would have bought a brand new car. I would have bought a boat or a side-by-side. I would have bought something, and I would have just tied all my money up, and then I would just like if I was making good enough money where I was happy, just enough to keep me happy is all they had to do. But I think he just was a little too greedy and didn't want to pay me enough, and that just lit a fire under me that just said, screw it, I want to go out and start my own business.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was like the big. I was like, you know, I am almost thankful for that. It sucked during the time, like having to live through it and like struggle and like, you know, ask for a raise and maybe get $1 raise like once a year. But I was like, I was like so far behind in pay that because $1 is pretty good. Once a year, $1, I feel like it's pretty good, but not when you're $10, $15 behind on pay. Anyway, I was 10 years in to auto body, and the guys that were starting were making $6 less an hour than me. Yeah. And I'm just like, the kids were starting, and I was training them. They didn't, most of them, they came out right out of school, and they had some knowledge, but they had no confidence. And they didn't have a lot of knowledge on a lot of different things. So I was having to train them, plus do my job. And I'm like, screw this.
Right.
I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm going to go out and make my own money. And yeah, thank God.
And that's where I
look at it.
Like a lot of trades companies are starting to go towards an incentive pay. I've got a few people who I take care of who they work like plumbing, electrician, welding. They don't own their company, but the people that they work for, they're starting to bring them clients because, you know, they do a good job at somebody's house. They refer and they specifically ask for that person. So now the people that I take care of, they're starting to talk to their employers and ask for a percentage of the profit of the work that they do. And
like a referral bonus.
Yeah, and that keeps them loyal to that company because now you can just go company to company to company, and that's what everybody does is they just look for who's paying the most.
Yeah.
But this keeps that person there, and then obviously the owner can build a bigger business.
Yeah, and that's what has to be done.
Yeah,
that's what has to be done. That and a lot of shops now are flat rate. So like if the job pays 30 hours and you can get it done in 20, you still get paid for 30.
Yeah.
I was not in a job like that. I never did work a job like that. So it was like, for me, I was just hourly. So it was like, I could get my job done in an hour and I would just stand around for another 4 or 3 hours just till my day was ended. But for me, it was insanity. Like I was just going crazy because I have energy, you know, and I want to do something. Like I want to be productive.
Right.
Like the worst feeling in the world is when you just feel just like you can't, like you're helpless. Like you're not doing nothing with your life. Like there's no fulfillment. There's no happiness.
Like you're just stuck.
You're just stuck there. Yeah. So let's go back to Logan University. So
that was like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, but I want the people that are listening, because I know quite a few people that are going right now to school at Logan University for chiropractic, and I bet they want to listen to this. And there's probably some people also that listen to the podcast that might be wanting to go into the same field. So that's a big reason for my podcast, is to share similar stories or share everyone's stories so that maybe someone that has never gone to school to be a chiropractor, or maybe they're in a position where their life where they're like in college, trying to figure out what they're going to do. And they're like, am I crazy for changing my career right now to go to school to be a chiropractor? And I don't know. To me, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of stories where like for that people that like just did things, especially in business, that took a chance. And that was what like inspired me to like, hey, if this guy did it, like look where this guy came from. And he was able to do it. And that's a big reason behind my podcast is like share stories to try to help, I don't know, just motivate people, encourage them to do it. So
For those aspiring to just take that step.
Yes.
Take that leap.
Yes. So you went to you finished out chiropractic school at Logan,
Yeah.
right? And then did you start your own business immediately after that? Like you're done, you're like, I'm going to start my own office. No.
No, I
That's
was
right.
too timid, too scared. I didn't want to take on that risk at that time because I wanted how I learn is all from experience, right? I need to learn directly from somebody who's already done it. I don't really, at least that gives me a foundation. I don't really learn from just jumping out there.
Yeah. Can you read a book and just take it in and feel like you can apply it very well? Like me, I can learn from a book and I can learn the lessons, but it's like I had to actually go out and act on it and fail at it and then learn like, okay, that's why you can't do it that way. You know, and I love to read. I love I have tons of self-help books and to me, I think that's like the best thing that's helped me grow in my life. But I had to read them and then I had to go out and do them. Like I had to actually act on them. And that's why it takes me a long time to read a book because I'll read a couple chapters and then I had to go and apply it to my life for a while and just kind of like sculpt it and worked it and figure it out and get better at it. So is that kind of how it is?
Yeah.
You too?
And it doesn't matter how many it doesn't matter how much you learn from somebody else's mistakes. You still have to make those same mistakes in order to break past them. You're just going to do it at a quicker rate.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter. You're never going to learn from somebody else's mistakes. You're just going to make that same mistake and then learn from that. And that's kind of what I had to do was that I had to watch the mistakes being made, make those mistakes myself, and then learn from that. And it's nicer to have somebody there who even just has a little bit more experience than you, so you can bounce ideas off of them, talk to them, and learn from what they have learned throughout their tenure in the profession already.
But were you wanting to open your own office? Like,
yeah.
That was the goal. Like in the back of your head, you're like, eventually I'm getting my own office. So because I feel like whenever you go work for somebody else too, you get to see some things like just how they structure the business, not just how they do it and learn like the skill of being a chiropractor, but also like how the business is ran, right? Like working the front desk, like how just meeting people and greeting people and billing people, like all that kind of stuff. They don't teach you that in school.
They don't know.
That's not part of school. Like they teach you how to be a chiropractor in school.
Yeah, they don't teach you how to be a human.
Right. And so like there's an interpersonal business that you learn by going to work for somebody else. Like the structure of it.
Yeah.
So that probably helped you too. So how long did you work for somebody else before you went out on your own?
About a year and a half-ish.
Just one guy?
Just one guy.
Because I kind of heard about this story.
I know.
And we're not going to dig into it.
No.
But from what I understand, you went and worked for this guy for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And the guy just decided, hey, I'm going to flip the script and everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then at that point, now what do? You're like,
Oh, I had to make rent the next month. So what I did was I just went out, started marketing a little bit, talked to some people, grew, I guess, my own little practice. I'll call it little. Because I was only seeing, at least within a month or two, I was only seeing about 20-ish people a day. So that, to me, that's very small considering we were seeing.
like that's pretty damn good. 20 a day? That sounds like a busy day.
It's not really.
No?
No.
Like what's a busy day then?
You want a goal number?
Yeah.
A goal number would be to serve over 100, sometimes 120 people in a day.
That's just you?
That could be just me, yeah. Like our busiest days were, 80 plus people that we would serve in a day.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine seeing that many people in a day.
And that's where there
Like
are
actually, you're physically actually working them.
Yeah.
That's insane. I feel like you're busy.
Oh yeah.
At that.
But that's fun because then time just flies. You're helping everybody, just having a grand old time. You might not remember everything that was just done or said.
How long a day is that?
That's 6 open hours. So we have like 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening.
Gotcha.
So it's just 6 hours a
Break
day.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. I feel like that's a lot. I feel like it's a busy day.
And I'll be honest, there are going to be some chiropractors who might watch this and they'll say that that's selfish of me because now I'm not giving those 100 people enough time. However, I think it's selfish to limit myself to only seeing, 20 or 30 people a day. If I could serve more, if I have the time to serve more people and help more people, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you think of it. I don't think that's selfish at all. I mean, I'm not a chiropractor, but so you went and did you rent a building? Did you do it like out of your own place or how'd you do it?
So I started traveling around, the old mobile chiro.
Okay.
I think
so you had like your own table and stuff?
Yeah.
Carry the table in?
Carry the table in, suction cups, massage gun, whatever I had at the time, whatever I needed to do per that person, I brought in with me.
Is there a lot of tools? Not too much? Your hands are your tools?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 right here.
Well, I just didn't know like if there was actually that much stuff that goes, you need a table, but you like some other just little stuff that you
Yes.
can acquire along the way. It's not a must.
No.
It's just more of a want.
Yeah. The only things that you have is at least one hand. Because there are some chiropractors that either had a stroke and couldn't use one hand or all you need is a hand and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing mobile.
Yeah. Just driving around talking to people, taking care of them. They'd refer. And then at one of my business groups with Master Networks, actually, great group. They're awesome. They're more so in the St. Louis area, but
Is that how's that group? Is that like a Facebook group or is it a?
it's kind of like BNI, where it's not as hardcore as a typical BNI group is. Because you go to
I don't know what BNI is.
business networking.
Oh,
basically.
okay.
So like you meet with the group, once a week, chat, do some exercises, I guess. It's like some business exercises, and then you'll talk with them, go out to lunch, go out to dinner, breakfast,
Cool.
grab coffee.
I love that.
And just network, and that's it.
Dude, that's something that I'm trying so hard to get involved in right now. It's just like I'd never heard of it called BNI before, but yeah, there's a group in Rolla and there's a group starting in Washington, and it's just young professionals.
Yeah.
And they're getting together, and it's because I've tried when I was in auto body, I tried to get together with people, and now that I'm in the fitness industry, I'm like, dude, I've reached out to so many gym business owners. They're nothing like you would think. You would think like a gym owner is this like high energy, like optimistic, positive person. Nope. A lot of them don't even care about their business at all. A lot of them aren't even working out themselves. A lot of them don't even show up. Like it's a 24-hour gym, and the only way you can meet them is if you call and make an appointment. That's the only way you can get set up or canceled. It was like whenever I chose to go into the fitness industry, it was because I thought I liked the people better. I just thought there'd be more energy in it. I thought it'd be like more progressive and optimistic. Because in a body shop, guys in body shops, they just like, I don't know, they drink a lot, they smoke. It's a stressful job and it's hard on the body and it's tough on someone. And so I kind of get it. But yeah, like for me, I couldn't find anyone in the fitness industry, locally at least, to connect with. And so now it's just basically like, hey, I just want to find people that have energy, that care about their business, that they're passionate about. And I know guys that are like, there's like the one group that's in Washington. It's like a social media manager. It's a guy that lays tile. It's like just random people that are just passionate about their business, want to grow, and we all just kind of like said like, hey, we should get together and just talk, figure out what are you doing to make your business better? What are you doing to improve on your business? And yeah, that's super important. So how'd you find the group?
I Googled
Googled it.
Yeah, just looking for networking groups in the area, and I found Master Networks because I've heard the woes of BNI where you go there and they say, hey, give me a business card, let's chat, let's do this. Here, I got business. You got business for me? And Master Networks was more, hey, you want to go to the bar Friday? I'm playing because there were a few guys who played drums and guitar and stuff. Like, hey, we're playing Friday night. You guys want to come out and drink, have a good time? So it was a little bit different dynamic, and that's why I chose Master Networks in that sense. But yeah, one of the guys there knew another chiropractor. He's got multiple locations, and he actually had a room come available at one of his locations, at his Wentzville location. And he said, yeah, I'll rent you the room. So we've just been renting his room for 7, 8, 9 months or so now. And that's been a godsend. That's been very nice.
And you say we, you and your wife?
Yeah.
Just you and your wife?
Yeah.
And because she does, so something that the listeners don't know either is that you met your wife
Yep. In school.
as was that Logan?
At Logan, yeah.
So you guys just got married, and congratulations, by the way.
Yes.
It was
I hope he had a good time, because I was getting pulled here, there, everywhere, and I couldn't even stop to
great.
just think.
It was great. Like I liked everything about it. It was a Friday wedding,
Yep.
which is non-traditional. And I even asked you, like, I think I said something like, "Why'd you choose Friday?" And
Cheaper.
Yeah, and that's what you said. And like it doesn't bother me at all. Like I kind of liked it because it's Friday night. Like that's everybody who doesn't want to get off on Friday night and go out to eat and have a drink, and like they're trying to just forget about work for their week.
Right.
So a Friday wedding was perfect. It wasn't like it was in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had it in the afternoon. Anybody could get off work, get cleaned up, and go to it. It was a beautiful venue.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole the building, the hall, everything like that it had was awesome. And I also liked because we went to a wedding the next day.
I know.
And it was a beautiful wedding too and everything, but there were so many people.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost overwhelming. And so I think about whenever I go get married one day, it's like, it's like, do you want to invite everybody that ever known and bring them out? But then it's it's not only expensive to feed them all and do it all, but you can't even, there's so many people you can't even go and talk to everyone. There's no way you can just go, hey, go and say thanks for coming or anything, because it's just too much to coordinate. So I like that. I liked the smaller. I think that's honestly if I ever get married, that's probably how I'll structure mine too. Mm-hmm. And is that how you wanted it, or was it because
we were both from out of town?
Yeah, so it was a lot for people to come in.
Yeah,
a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, I don't have a ton of friends, right? I got a very, very close-knit group, and so it's not like I have 25 friends that I got to invite all of them. Sometimes their parents, their spouses, or their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So, being that her family's all Arkansas, Louisiana, mine's all Ohio and Pennsylvania, whoever could come, came, and had a hopefully a great time.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. And you guys had, is that Cajun? Was that what's the? Because you guys had cornbread. And it was the first time I ever had cornbread with actual corn in it. It was delicious, though. It was delicious. Is that from her family, or is that something that the venue provided?
That was from Cess and Judy's catering. So we went to Cess and Judy's for a taste testing or whatever, and the cornbread, it was gone. And they didn't refill it because they didn't bring enough, because we only had 80 some odd people, but we needed cornbread for 300 people, because people went up there, got seconds and thirds.
Yeah. Oh, I would have had a half a tray to myself. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was I seriously, first time I ever had cornbread with corn in it.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It tasted amazing.
Oh yeah. No, they did a great job with that.
Yeah. So congratulations. It was a beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
So you got married in school as well. So then was your wife working at the previous place as well, or was it not until you left the position at the other place, that you guys were let's just go into business together. Let's just do it together?
I had to
kind of how it was?
I had to drag her, because she likes, what do you want to call it? Safety, or just knowing. Stability, yeah, stability. She likes that stability. Once she's there and she gets the handle of it on it, she likes to stay there. Mm-hmm. That's just how she's always lived, coming from a super small town. They don't have a bunch of things to that you can go to, but that stability she liked at her old job, and she hated it though. She hated the old job, but it was a consistent paycheck, and
everybody hate it though,
right?
That's such a narrative. I know so many of my friends that hate their job, but they try to say that the pay and the stability make it all worth it, the benefits and the pay, and it's just not when you're miserable.
Right.
Not when you're miserable 5 days a week, and the only time you're happy is when you get your paycheck and you get to go spend it 1 day a week,
right,
or 2 days a week. That is not the way you should be living your life.
Right.
So I understand how hard it is to make that leap out. But was there no thought in your mind like maybe I should go work for somebody else, or was it just one of those things where you're like, I got to make money now,
Yeah.
so I'm just gotta go. I gotta do my own thing.
Yeah, it was.
That how it was?
Yeah, I had rent due the next month, so I had to figure out a way. But I did end up working with another doc, and he's helped me so much, right? Just with the knowledge and the experience.
And that's the one that you worked in his office.
Yeah. So I worked in his office a couple days of the week for the last 8 months or so, and then a couple days a week I was at our office.
Oh, so you have your own office too?
Well, no. It's that room within another office.
I see.
that
So
we
you
rented.
were assisting him sometimes with stuff. Is that how it was?
Yeah. So it's up in Winfield. 3 hours from here.
Sure.
So Winfield Chiropractic, I was working with Dr. Rob up there, and then for a couple days a week, and then the other couple days I had my own patient base that I worked on there.
So the building you were in though, was that Dr. Rob's? Or you said you had your own office. Who was that connected to?
Okay, so
That's what I'm trying to make the connection here in my head.
I gotcha. So yeah, the couple days at Dr. Rob's was completely separate from the other 3 days at our place. So we just had a room that we rented out from the back pain center in Wentzville. So that's where we worked. That's what I'll call my office.
Gotcha.
Is just those 3 days I would work in there, and that was real nice because we had our room and we were just bringing people in, sending them out, bringing people in.
Now, was there a lobby? Like, so people come sit in the lobby? Did you have someone work like a front desk?
No.
Check in and check out?
No.
People just came in, sat down, waited. They just knew.
Well, yeah, because we kind of run a very tight ship. So if your appointment's at 3:15, you will be there at 3:15 because that person knows if they show up at 3:25 and the person that's set up at 3:30 shows up at 3:24, that person at 3:30 is going first, and now you have to wait for another 5-10 minutes. So everybody that came in, they were just about right on time with all their appointments, plus or minus 5 minutes. So that was also very helpful for us to just keep the flow going.
I bet people actually like that because there's nothing worse than going to the doctor's office and you're told you're supposed to be there at 8 and you're not even going in until 8:45 and you're like, what am I sitting here for?
Right.
This is ridiculous. And most of the time it's some stupid thing where you get sent back to an office, like a little room, and you sit there forever.
For another 15 minutes.
For another 15 minutes. So they can just come back and check your blood pressure and, like check your temperature and send you on your way. They're like, oh, okay, well, take some Tylenol. You'll be fine. What is this crap?
I could have done that myself.
Yeah, dude, that's why I don't go to the doctor's office. I literally have to have a limb falling off for me to go to the doctor's office. I could not tell you the last time I went to the doctor's office.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I got life insurance, that was a couple of years ago, they said, okay, when was the last time you've been to a doctor? I was like, I don't know, I was 9. They go, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
go, what was your doctor's name? I don't know. The clinic isn't even there anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to find the guy. He was at another clinic in another city. I go, him. And that's who I went to last when I was 9 years old. He's not going to remember me.
Right.
But they required that for me to get it.
To be able to go?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, to get the life insurance, they needed your
okay.
family doctor.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I'm my own family doctor now.
Right. Can we just not start from a clean slate like I've never been? Like that's interesting. I didn't know they made you do that for health
For life
for
insurance.
life insurance.
Yeah.
I thought they'd just give it to whoever. Whatever. You just had to pay. Now, is this through your insurance or an investment company?
An investment company.
Because there's like two different types of life insurance.
Yeah.
Or style life insurances. And like there's like my insurance company has tried to sell me life insurance and it's cheap. Like it's not very much a year, like $500 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
But then there's like through an investment company and it can be 100 to 500. Or I don't know if it caps. Like you can put as much money into health insurance as you want.
Right.
I can't remember what that investment company wanted me to do, but they were like, I think it was like $500 a month. And I'm like, I don't have extra $500 a month. You guys nuts? I'm like, I just remember I'm like, I'm go out a burden just like I came in. Like I don't need health insurance. One of these days I'll probably get in it, but I'll probably go the route through an investment company.
Yeah.
Not through
The regular insurance.
not through an insurance company. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
Right.
But dude, I have the worst insurance. I use like the healthcare.gov thing, and I pay like $20. It's cheap, $20 a month. When I started out, it was only like $11 a month, but I'm sure it doesn't cover anything. I've never used it.
I would say more than likely not. Honestly, I haven't had health insurance since I got off of my dad's.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you get fined?
No.
No.
No, that's a crock.
Really?
Yeah, you
Oh
don't
my
get
gosh! So I could just be rocking no health insurance right now.
And I'll be completely honest. Like, I just saw a video.
That saved me $20 a month.
Right? There was actually some guy, he just broke his arm or tore a bicep or something. And the out-of-pocket cost for that was actually cheaper than had he been paying for 3 years on regular health insurance. Like, because he cut his health insurance, nothing happened. 3 years later, he tore his bicep or something. Paid for that surgery out of pocket, and it was actually cheaper than had he been paying those premiums, those monthly premiums, plus whatever he would have had to pay out of pocket. So he's like, health insurance, that's stupid.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It really is a joke.
Oh my gosh. We have such a quarrel with insurance because they don't cover nothing. You got to pay everything out of pocket, and they will fight you on it even more. Like, you're paying them, $300, $400, $500 a month.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I know some people paying like $1,200 a month or something insane. Because it's actually, I think it was my friend that has the 3 boys. And so he's just paying crazy amounts of money.
that's half a paycheck right there.
It's insane money.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could buy a nice house. Well, not even a nice house, but a nice truck.
Yeah.
You could go out and buy a nice truck.
Get a brand new truck for $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
brand new Denali or something.
Right. And that full coverage on it. Like, it's just crazy. So is that something you fight as a chiropractor? Like, the insurance companies, is that like most people that come to you, are they paying out of pocket?
Everybody that comes to me out of pocket, and I mean, I can give somebody a receipt. We call it a super bill, where they can submit that to insurance, and if insurance covers chiropractic, or if their insurance covers chiropractic, they would just send them a bill in the mail for the difference. But honestly, at Dr. Rob's office up in Winfield, he does take a lot of insurance because he is in a more rural area. So insurance is everybody's top priority. They want to use their insurance.
Yeah.
So the number one question we get is, are you in network with my insurance? Can I use my insurance? Anything insurance, that's the number one question. And it does suck because insurance tells you what your services are worth. That's the contract you sign as a doc with insurance.
Yeah, that is a problem with it.
Right?
Any insurance company, even in a body shop, it was when you do insurance jobs, which is 90% of like cars that you're working on. Yeah, they get to choose your hourly rate. They get to choose it's everything based off of insurance. You're basically working for the insurance company.
Well, I'm glad I know that now. I didn't know that before, so I'm glad I'm not the only one getting hosed.
Yeah, no, yeah. In a body shop, I would say a majority of the work is insurance, and yeah, like they get whenever I was in a body shop, it was $60 an hour out here. I think in the city you get paid more, but yeah, they won't pay you any more than this, and it's like, they have like an estimating system, and it tells you like you get paid. Like if you're trying to say you're replacing a door and a fender on a car, you get paid 2 hours to replace a fender, 2 hours to replace a door. And if it takes you 10 hours, you don't get paid nothing else.
Yeah, see.
And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. That's why a lot of guys like restoration work, because it's just time for money.
Right.
They just keep the receipts, and it's just, if it takes you 50 hours, you paid me the 50 hours. I charge $40 an hour, and this is what it is. Right. And so that's why a lot of guys like insurance is just nice because it's guaranteed pay. Because a lot of, at least cars, it's sometimes can be anywhere from $1,000 all the way up, $60,000 for a restoration job. So it can get pretty expensive. So it's tough there.
Yeah.
I had a question, but I kind of just forgot about it. It totally just blanked my mind.
I'll say, let me go back to that insurance point because,
Okay.
Dr. Rob, he's very open with us on his finances, what it takes to run the business and everything. And he showed me that we used a different EHR system to send out billing to insurances. And last year, he's actually missing a lot of money because insurance will actually just change up how you have to bill something. And if you don't know that change, or you don't see that email that they send you, or you don't get the letter in the mail that says that, you can miss out on a lot of money because now everything is coded incorrectly and you're not guaranteed that money. So they can screw you.
Yeah, you know, it's actually interesting that you say that because I do kind of understand that. Because now that I think about it, at my gym, there's like programs. If you're 65 and older, I have programs that'll pay for your gym membership. And they do the same thing. And especially at the change of the new year, I figured this out, that insurance companies are kind of like trading packages. So I use Renew Active, Silver Sneakers, and Silver and Fit. That these are the middleman companies.
Yeah.
So they work, you know, these middleman companies are working with me and the insurance companies, and they're the ones that pay me out. And basically, like someone that's on Renew Active right now, next year, Renew Active might have traded that insurance company to Silver Sneakers because Silver Sneakers might pay more. So that insurance company wants to go with Silver Sneakers now. And unless, like, I don't always get to know. Like sometimes they send out some emails, which is on me. I need to read the emails, but there could be 500 different insurance companies and plans in there that I have to go through, and I don't know what every plan everybody has. So the first month of the year, I might go, because what happens is every time someone comes to my gym, they swipe their card, I get paid for it. But if their plan changed, so did their number that associates with their account. And so then I go to submit it, and then it's just like, oh, well, this guy isn't with this insurance company anymore. It's like, now I don't get paid for that month.
Right.
You know, and it's at the end of the month that I have to submit everything. And you submit it, and then they process it, and then they send you a check. So, yeah, it could be a month and a half, 2 months before I even know, oh, hey, 50 of my customers changed. Yeah, and it gets tough.
That's such a
Because then you got to run these people down, too.
Right.
You know, you're trying to call them or stop them and be like, hey, I know you've been coming for the past year and a half, and we've been using this insurance, but it looks like something's changed. Can I have you stop in
and pay me?
Yeah, or just let me have your insurance card so I can update the number. Yeah,
because that's the most awkward conversation to have. Like, hey, your insurance didn't cover it anymore. Now you owe me money. Sorry.
Yeah, what do you do in that situation? Is that what you do?
We get our money.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some offices that write it off, you know, because you don't want to have that conversation. You already had that agreement with that person that said, you pay me this, I'll do this, and then insurance doesn't cover that little bit extra. A lot of offices just write it off as a loss because either that patient just went MIA or, you know, to have that conversation is really tough.
It is tough.
Yeah, because sometimes you could be asking them for another $500. I'm like, how do you want that? In pennies or quarters, singles?
I've had people pay me in quarters before, and I'm like, I don't care. Money's money. Like, I've had people bring me money, like quarter rolls. I'm like, I don't care. Money's money. Bring it in. Yeah, this isn't going to bother me. As long as you got it counted out already. Don't make me count it. Like, I'm cool with that. It's tough. It's insanely tough. And, like, I have, like, a reoccurring system, too. And so there's times where they're debit cards. Like, maybe they don't. I never call them out and, like, say, like, hey, my thing will tell me, like, approved or not approved, and I'm just like, hey, it looks like something was wrong with your card last night. Can we update it? And sometimes I don't even tell them anymore, because it's supposed to send them an email. It's just tough.
Right. That's where
like I don't want to make them feel bad and be like, hey, you ain't got no money in your account. You put some money in there, pay your membership.
Right.
But
that's hard.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, we always just use the excuse like, oh, we think your card might have expired, or we think there might be, you know, something changed, or did something change on your card? Can we get it updated?
Well, sometimes it is that too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's legit just their card expired and they didn't call to update you with their card information. Especially for me, for a gym. The gym is the last thing someone thinks about. Like it's their last priority. Their Netflix trumps freaking the gym. I hate it. I know there's people that have Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and all these streaming services, and they're making sure the money's in there to pay them, but then they don't even get the gym membership to go through.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know, it's tough. It's just what, I mean, it's part of the business, but I would say like 30% of my memberships that go through every day are failed transactions. Probably. Yeah.
So that's a lot more work on you.
Yeah, it got to the point where it was just a lot of times, unless they're calling in or trying to come in, we just let it go.
Yeah.
Like we shut down their account, so they don't have access anymore. But we just wait for them to call back in because when they try to come in next time, their card's just not going to work. And I feel bad for some of them sometimes because maybe they're coming in at like after hours, because I'm only staffed Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So after 5 o'clock, if you're not a member, you can't get in the building. And if they didn't pay for the day, their account's shut down, and they're calling me. They're like, "Hey, why is my card not working?" And a lot of times it's like, I'm just like, "Well, did your membership go through? Because it might be something like that, like where it just didn't go through."
Yeah, just try and take that easy path.
Yeah.
Make that conversation.
Some of them it's every single month though. It's just like, and I just got to the point now where it's like, okay, let's update it. Like they'll call a lot of them now. They'll call me, and like there's certain ones I know, especially the younger generation. And I understand. I was young. I was broke. Like, I know what it's like to be broke. I like the ones that I can respect the ones that can at least tell me like, hey, because there's one gentleman that comes in, he'll Venmo me money. He's on the line every single time. It's usually 2 days. Like it's like a couple days after his membership went through, and he'll be like, "Hey, can you update my account now, and I pay you on Sunday when I get paid," kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah. I respect him for just doing that instead of trying to sneak in. I get a lot of people that try to sneak in.
Yeah.
Just wait till, because they know, they're like, oh, Ryan goes home at 5, so if I just wait till 6, I'll be good. So a lot of times, it's nice having a worker that works for me during the day, because now I'll go in at like 5 a.m. sometimes. I'll just stick around till like 9 o'clock at night sometimes just to catch some people. And you'll be, it is insane the amount of people that I will catch in the evenings just coming in. They're like, oh, I didn't realize my account was, because they'll come like, maybe it's like boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Boyfriend's paying, girlfriend's not paying. She swipes her card, but it doesn't go through. And it's like, I don't know. It's a battle for me.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about owning a gym, probably, is the fact that everyone, because it's, they're paid for a service from you, but they're paying for their facility
For you.
from me. And so it's a lot of people that are like, well, he's not making any more money if I didn't come tonight, if I did come. So like to them, they think it's just no big deal. They're like, it's just one day. It's just one day. Ryan doesn't need that. And I'm like, yeah, it's my business.
Right.
I have bills to pay here, you guys. Like, you guys are coming in here, because they're using the wipes and they're using everything that's in there. I'm like, you guys are costing me money when you guys are in here too. Wear and tear on stuff.
Give an inch and they'll take a mile.
Yeah. I'm like very strict on it. Like, and it's bit me in the butt a couple times, and I've made a mistake of like kicking someone out when I shouldn't have. But there's times where, yeah. And I just tell everyone, like I'm straight up with everyone, like I'm zero tolerance with it. To me, it's stealing. If you're coming in my facility and you're not paying, it's stealing.
It is.
And so I try to like make that known that you don't come here without paying. And I have people that, because people want to show up at like 6 o'clock, they don't know what my hours are, and they just want to see the building and walk through. And I'm like, nobody comes to my building unless you're a member. Like and now there's members in there that most of them know. Like I've heard of people that come to sign up, and they're like, yeah, I showed up on Saturday. I just want to see the building. And one of your members opened the door and said, I'm not allowed to let you in. Like Ryan says, I'm not allowed to let you in. And I'm like, yep. And that's a good member to me, because if someone comes in and gets hurt and they never fill out a liability release, it's on me.
Yeah.
It's on me. And gyms now are so strict that it's just like my insurance last year doubled because someone in St. Charles. Did you hear about that story in St. Charles? There was a EMS worker that went to, I think it was like a Planet Fitness, or no, it wasn't Planet Fitness, because they have people there all the time. It was a 24-hour gym. An EMS worker went in. She was like just doing squats on the Smith machine, I think, and it flipped over on her and killed her. And it was right after that happened, my insurance company just dropped me, and they said, we'll insure you, but you have to pay this new premium. And it doubled. My insurance doubled because of it. And it didn't even happen in my facility. So that's why I tell everyone, like, it's an insurance liability for anyone to let someone in this building. And I'm like, if someone comes in here and gets hurt and they never fill out a liability release and I'm getting sued,
guess who else is?
Yeah, like whoever let that person in is going down with me, because I didn't let them in the building, And so I have signs up, and I try to tell everyone, can't stop it all, but you can certainly try to slow it down.
Yeah, minimize the risks as much as possible.
Yes, because that's all it takes. And it's someone, kids are another one, like young kids in the gym. I try to let it happen, because everybody has their kid that they want they want to let them come in and like be with them and walk on the treadmill next to them, or like maybe use like some light dumbbells and work out with them. And I like the idea of that, but it got to the point where they were too big of a. I allowed it to happen for less than a year, and I was like, too big an insurance liability, you guys. So now, if you're 13 or younger, you can't even come on the gym floor. Like I'll let people bring their kids, but I'm like, they gotta sit in the lobby. You can see them anywhere in the gym in the lobby, but I'm like, no, nothing on the gym floor. Because one kid gets hurt, heaven forbid they die. Like, maybe some bro in the gym's throwing around some weight on a barbell, hits a little kid in the head, he dies. No gym's ever going to recover from that. I'll forever be known as the gym that little kid died on or died in. Yeah, so anyway, I was like, some people get upset about it, and I'm like, hey, I got a freaking business to run here, you guys. Like, I wish it was a playground, but it's not. So, you and your wife now are planning to go back to Cleveland. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
What's the idea there?
Of why Cleveland?
Yeah, why move back to Cleveland?
Well, we wanted to move somewhere near where we had some family, right? But she really doesn't want to move back down to southern Arkansas. She got spoiled up here. Like once she moved up here, she's got stores everywhere, Starbucks here, Starbucks there, Target here, Target there. All
So when
stuff.
you say she grew up in a small town, like how small is it?
I think at the time it was about 8,000. So it isn't too small, but that was the biggest town within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Drive any which way. So all the other little small towns, if 100, 200, 400 or 500, they came to that town to do anything. And then she was about an hour and a half south of Little Rock, Arkansas. So she had to drive, hour and a half to really do anything, go to stores, malls, anything. Then she comes up here and everything is right at her fingertips. And that's kind of where she would rather come up to Ohio. And my family's in Ohio, so that's why we're going to be going up there.
Yeah, but are you going to be in Cleveland, or where are you going to move to?
No, so we're going to move. So where I grew up is smack dab in the middle of Cleveland and Akron. So we're gonna move there for a little bit of time. We're gonna practice probably about 25, 30 minutes east of there. So probably about 25, 30 minutes southeast of Cleveland. So I was gonna be in some of the suburbs, but not too close to the city, not too far out, because I know she doesn't want to get too far out, even though I kind of do.
Yeah.
I want to be like out here.
Yeah, have some land, have some privacy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I totally get it. I get where she's coming from too, though. The amenities, all this stuff, just be able to, like run up to the store and grab something, or like on the weekends kind of suck around here, unless like a lot of people are big hunters. So if you got some land and you're big in the hunting and it's hunting season, great. Everybody, that's where like this place is awesome for.
Right.
But just like on a normal weekend. Like this past weekend, I wanted to go and it was beautiful out. I wanted to go have some drinks and listen to live music. Like I want to sit out on a patio, and we don't really have a lot of that around here. Couple patios, but most places don't play live music, and it sucks. You got to drive somewhere
A little ways.
But and all the other times, I literally have where I'm at. I'm outside of town on some land, privacy. I have a dog. He gets to just run around, just live his best life.
Right.
But yeah, I can go out on my back porch or on my back patio, grill, have a fire, and I could have friends over. We can drink, and we don't have to worry about neighbors or anything like that. And it's peaceful.
Right.
It really is peaceful. It's hard for me to like. I like just go and enjoy the city for a day or two,
And then come back.
I can't handle I could not live in the city. I could not. It's just not for me. Too much traffic.
Too much traffic, too many people.
I'm
just
like
too dense.
Yes, it is. I have been spoiled from the no traffic. Like I remember I used to drive like an hour to work when I was doing auto body. I would drive. I mean, I worked in lots of different body shops, so I was driving all over, and yeah, just the frustration and driving every day. It seemed like just a part of my life. I was just like always mad at somebody in front of me for going slow, and it was just part of my life. And then now I drive to work and I have nobody in front of me, and I'm just cruising, 65 just to work. I mean, I'm only 10 minutes from my facility, and it's just nice. Like I don't have that stress, and that's the kind of stuff that I really like about it. When I drive the city, I'm still frustrated.
Right.
Stuck behind some idiot driver going slow or doing something dumb. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I don't do this. Go to a Cardinals game once, or go to a Blues game, or go do something. Cool with that. But to do it every day, I don't know how people do it.
Dude, honestly, we won't even go back into the city. The last time we went into the city for a Cardinals game, we were coming home. Her parents were with me, or with us. Coming back home, you know, there's all the construction and stuff down there, but we're just in the right lane. You know, right lane's backed up, quarter mile with cars. We're just going, and here comes this car just buzzing up and comes right out in front of us, just trying to, you know, cut in the line. And there's a concrete wall right here, and I just see this car creeping in, so I just lay on the horn, right? Guy stops. I go, I don't know how close, I was probably an inch on either side, and I'm just close my eyes and roll forward, and then get on the on-ramp. This guy comes blaring up behind us, you know, right on our tail. We get on the highway just doing 60, and this guy just comes right up behind us, or right to the side of us, and just tries like pushing us off the road. I'm like, good grief. And her dad's going, give me my bag. Give me my bag. Because, you know, he's got
A handgun in it.
he's got a gun in it. So I grab the bag while I'm driving, looking at him, trying to find this bag, just looking around, trying not to get hit by the dude. Give him the bag, and he's over here fumbling it in my hands. I'm like, just take the bag. I'm trying to keep everybody alive here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly.
And that dude's probably dealing with that every single day.
I know.
Because he's just got, I guarantee this dude's blood pressure is through the roof. Like everyone that lives in the city, I guarantee they have high blood pressure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't deal with that stress. I mean, just let's slow it down a little bit. Let's slow life down a little bit and just enjoy it.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not going back into the city. I'll drive through it, you know, to get to Ohio, but I'm not gonna.
So where you guys are at, it's much more suburban, just like relaxed.
Yeah.
Like how many people do you think?
In where we're gonna be living.
Yep.
So it'll be right about 10,000 or so. So where I grew up, it's 4 different cities that come together to make the high school. There's about 10,000 in each one, so about 40,000 in that area.
Gotcha.
But Ohio's set up a little bit different, and I didn't realize it until my sister told me. Where out here, like St. Louis, greater St. Louis area, it's just people. You know, from St. Louis to St. Charles to O'Fallon, Lake St. Louis, Wentzville, and it just continues to grow.
Yeah.
It's just so dense. In Ohio, it's like, here's 10,000 here, and here's 10,000 here. There's a lot of space in between. There's a lot of openness and land. Yeah, and that's where, you know, we don't have the traffic like we have here. You don't have all these people just everywhere trying to get somewhere. We have a lot more room, and that's where I like it a little bit more. It's a lot nicer, a little bit slower, but still, you know, suburban living.
Dude, it seems like there's a lot of successful people that come from Ohio.
Yeah, there is.
And that like, I'm a big MGK fan.
Yeah.
So I want to go to Cleveland. I've never been to Cleveland. I'm gonna go just to visit, because like I think like MGK I think there's actually an MGK day now.
Is there really?
Yeah, I think I follow him, and like the mayor of the city like appointed him. I don't remember what day it is. I don't know if it's his birthday or what day it is, but like,
did he get a key to the city once? Maybe.
I don't know. You want me to look it up?
I mean,
Harry,
sure.
you should look it up. You should throw it up on Google. I'm kind of actually interested in seeing it now.
Because I swear he might have. There's somebody that got a key to the city, or a key to the city.
But like the Paul brothers, you know, Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah,
They're not from Cleveland though, are they? I think they're from like a suburban.
I think it's like Dover. I forget where they're from, but yeah, they're from up there.
From Ohio. And then I just remember I definitely know there's more. Those are like the 3 that I follow. But I'm a big MGK fan. And he has a coffee shop in Cleveland, so I want to go see it. I think it's called like 27 Club. I think it's what it's called, so I want to go see it.
Dude, there's so much stuff to do up in Cleveland.
Yeah?
I couldn't, you know, I could spend a year and still not hit everything.
Is it safe though? That's my thing.
It is not on the top 10.
Like St. Louis.
Like St. Louis is on the top 1.
Yeah. It's the number 1 unsafe. That's a big reason why I don't like going downtown either. Because
When's this holiday?
So it looks like he has his own day. What the heck?
yeah, it's his own day.
Nice.
It's funny that all these mini splits are on the right as advertisements because I have 2 AC units at the gym out, and so I've been looking them up, and it's like trying to get me to buy mini splits. August 13th,
Yeah.
the ceremony presenting Kelly with the official declaration for August 13th. Came just hours before he finished the North American leg of his mainstream sellout tour.
Oh, so maybe he didn't get a key to the city.
I got a camera right there. Can you scroll down a little bit? There was a picture with him with the mayor of the city, like when they were doing this. Why can I not find this? Mayor.
Is that the mayor?
No, they're today is officially MGK Day. No, that's not the mayor.
Yeah, that said Mayor Justin Bibb.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, up a little bit up, it said the mayor was Justin Bibb.
That's the one. Okay, yeah, that must be it. The mayor officially made August 13th MGK Day. Yeah. Can you press play on the video?
I'm Mayor Justin Bibb of the great city of Cleveland. How y'all doing today?
Oh, cool.
So, 4 years ago, I met MGK, and I didn't know someone loved the city of Cleveland as much as I did. But he does. And so today is officially Machine Gun Kelly.
What's your thoughts on it, Machine Gun Kelly? Be honest.
I don't listen to a lot of his stuff.
No opinion. No opinion.
No opinion, really.
Yeah, I could see why a lot of people don't fancy him, because he is kind of out there on a lot of his stuff. I got into his music when I was younger. Actually, I remember when he was playing, like before he blew up. And so I remember when he was playing like in Columbia, Missouri, and he was like the Blue Note, and he was just like this. He was handing out CDs, like he handmade the CDs and wrote his tracks on the CD, like on the front of it, and he would be handing them out. And like I just remember like nobody would even, like my friends would like, hey, you need to check this guy out. He's gonna be big one day, and that's how I remember him. And then I remember starting listening to some of his music, and at the time, he was living in Cleveland, and a lot of his music was just about like, he's just basically like believing in himself. And like how he's like working so hard and the things he's going through, and that's why I like really found his music to be inspiring, because it was like I was doing the same thing. I was like wanting to be better with my life and do better things. And so I liked seeing this dude that came from like kind of just humble beginnings and just worked so hard, and he's still crushing it. Like he's in movies, and I mean he went from rap to rock now, but he's getting like not Oscars. What's the VMAs?
Is it EMAs?
VMA, I think.
Oh, VMA, yeah.
VMA.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So he's like winning, like he's like got #1 albums and stuff out. And
Well, if he's into rock, then I might have to check him out a little bit.
you haven't heard none of his rock music?
Nah.
Oh,
I will on the way home now, though.
yeah, check it out. He's got two. I think he's got 2 albums out. Pretty good stuff.
Rock, okay.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. He has some like really. He has like just some good ones, like just some like ones that are just like normal rock songs, but he has some music that's like deep, like actually things. He has one called "Lonely," and it's about his dad and his aunt that passed away. And he has one like he made because he has a daughter. He had a daughter at 19 years old, I think.
Yeah.
And it's called "Play This When I'm Gone," and it's just basically a song that's like to her, like just telling her like not to be like not. I don't know. It's a song for her, I think. It's supposed to just be like help her maybe cope through the times. So like I don't know. I just like that kind of stuff. I like music with meaning. Yeah, like a story behind it, or meaning behind it. Something like like music that just has like a good instrumental. I like that too, just to jam out to. But the songs that I really like and I really connect to usually have meaning or some type of story in it.
Those instrumentals, you can create your own meaning. But that's why I like Linkin Park. Love Linkin Park. But you listen to the lyrics of them all, it's everything is so deep.
Yeah. MGK was a big fan with Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, when he died, he did a whole concert just for him, and they played not Numb. You should look that up, Ariel, or I can probably just Google it real quick.
It's probably Paper Cut or In the End.
I don't think so. MGK is Linkin Park. You think that'd be one of your favorite bands?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, easily.
Numb. It's Numb.
Was it
I thought
Numb?
it was Numb, but I wasn't sure. But he did the whole, like he shut the whole concert down. And he's like, it was like right, because how did he die?
Suicide.
He did commit suicide. Was it a
pretty
depression thing?
Listen to all of his songs, man. Yeah, it was just something.
Depression.
Depression. Something really deep in his head.
How old was he? You remember?
30s, maybe early 40s. He wasn't too old.
Super young.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think, because you just think that when someone has that much success, that they can't have problems like that. But they definitely still battle something. Because, I mean, he had money. Mm-hmm. He probably had, I would imagine by that point, he had some support in his life.
Oh, yeah. Had to have.
Do you know what he was depressed about? Like, what the depression was? Was it just, like, mental stuff?
Probably. That's mostly what depression is. It's just something, it's an inner battle that you can't get out of your own head with.
Yeah, because I've definitely battled it in my life before, but mine was more like a situational depression. But some people actually have a mental depression where it's like they can't fight it. Like me, it was like I just had to go through it. Like I just had to I had problems in my life at the time, and I just had to deal with the depression and go through it. And just, I worked through it. But there's some people that physically have this mental depression that I don't know if it's like something that they can fix. I know a lot of people take medicine. I do not believe in that, though. Like for me, I was, all right, we're going to work harder. We're going to get in the gym. We're going to work on ourselves. We're going to do things to better ourselves. Like this, I was just doing everything in my life to make my life better. And I cut out any negative energy. And that's how I fixed my depression. But there's some people that I think is actually like a chemical imbalance.
I very well think that there is some chemical imbalance in some people and that's where the exercise and the diet, the whole lifestyle change helps with that chemical imbalance. Now, you talk about depression and all the meds and all the crap that they give them. The biggest thing are SSRIs, right? The selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So they think that having more serotonin will help with the depression. It'll actually make you just feel better overall. And these SSRIs, they target mostly the brain, right? But big thing is that only about 10% of your serotonin is actually made in your brain. So most SSRIs are more or less placebo.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, I can see that.
Most of your serotonin actually made up in your gut. So the foods that you eat have a much bigger impact on your depressive symptoms.
Yeah, when you're eating good, like I remember when I was in a buy shop and I would eat like pasta for lunch, and I would just because I would drink a bunch of caffeine in the morning, say an energy drink in the morning, and I probably had cereal. This was like before I figured out my diet. I would eat like cereal for breakfast, and then I would go have like this massive thing of microwaved pasta. It wasn't even like fresh pasta. It was like
Velveeta.
Yeah, and it was like it was just like greasy and so like heavy on the stomach and so just carb overload. And then after lunch, I would just crash, and I'd be like depressed, like between the massive caffeine crash and all the carbs crashing me down, and I ate like crap, and I was just in a crap environment, and
terrible.
That was at the time when I was like, okay, time to start making some changes, right? Because and I just started like really paying attention to everything I ate and everything I did, and if something made me feel like crap, it's like, okay, change this, just get it out.
I'm glad you brought up cereal though. Do you know why, Kellogg's invented cereal, right? Dr. Kellogg.
I did not know this.
So Kellogg's, the actual company, Dr. Kellogg invented cereal. Do you know why? To prevent kids from masturbating.
How is that even a connection?
So with cereals, right, whenever they invented, I think it was cornflakes first, they made it such a bland cereal that they wanted to actually decrease kids' testosterone levels. Thus, they would stop masturbating.
Okay, well, that's very interesting.
There's a turn.
Well, no, I'm actually glad you kind of brought something like that up, because here recently, I just got my blood work done. I went to a TRT clinic.
Yeah.
I met a guy named Jeff Becker. He owns Man Up Testosterone.
Yeah.
And so I went there, and I've always wanted to have my blood work done, always check it. And I've never had any problems with energy, sex drive, I mean, depressive, but like I said, it was selective. Like it was all just situational depression. It was nothing like just. It was always like it was because of something I was doing. Yeah, I was in and out, or it was just like maybe I had a down day, and it wasn't really actually depression. I was just kind of bummed. But I'm never like I don't have any problems. You know, like you have this big long checklist of things like, is your sex drive low? Is your energy low? Do you have trouble like building muscle mass? All this, and it was all nope, everything's good. I feel great. But I've heard a lot of people that go to these clinics get their blood work done, and they're all jacked up. Mm-hmm. And so. You know, and I just realized, I want to see what it's like. Because, well, I went in, and my test was down at like 250. Stupid low.
Chemical imbalance.
Yes, and guess what? I grew up eating a lot of cereal and a lot of Pop-Tarts. Because
Pop-Tart, yeah.
And I don't know, like what, I mean, I get it. Like, my mom didn't even going to get up every morning and make me eggs for breakfast. So I get that. But yeah, like whenever I was going over, you know, because I sit down with a doctor and they go over everything, and you know, it's like, okay, why could your test be low? And they're like, have you ever had stress? You ever been depressed? You ever like maybe had a lot of high processed foods? And it's like all these things that they're talking about, and I'm like, yep, all this, like, yep, okay. I'm like, I'm surprised I have any testosterone left at all. And I also like when I was 20, like 25-ish. You know, because I've been lifting since I was 21. I took, it was like a drug called SARMs. Have you ever heard of them?
We're on this topic. Yes.
So you know about SARMs?
I have used.
Okay, and so, yeah, so like that I think was, I don't know. I think it was literally a combination. I wish I would have got checked when I was like 16.
Same.
16, 18, 21, 25, and 30. Because I wonder where I would have been at 16. Like if I would have been at the same, because I feel like when I started eating and working out, sure, I'd start feeling better. But when I was younger, I said earlier in the podcast, I was always a smaller kid. I wasn't like this little bitty scrawny thing, but I certainly was not. I certainly was not like, you know, like the 230 like massive dude.
Yeah.
You know, I was 160 pounds in high school, 165 pounds in high school. Not unhealthy skinny, but certainly not like anything special. You know, and I had to work very hard just to build muscle mass. Mm-hmm. And I wonder, like, was I just low from the get-go? Like, was it? I don't like. Part of me is like, I like to blame SARMs, but dude, I've drank way too much beer in my life. You know, like way too much. It's probably damaging. I think there was a better chance that it was the massive amounts of beer that I've drank that could have affected it. But then you think about, okay, I've never really drank enough beer to actually like damage like my liver or my insides. I hope not, at least.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, well, there's a better chance that it was probably because I've also had a lot of stress. At least in my opinion, I had a lot of stress. It's all perspective based, right? There's other people that are like, oh, you ain't got nothing compared to me. But it's all perspective.
Right.
But then I really think about like going back to as a kid. Like I remember eating the frozen Eggo waffles.
Yep.
They just throw in the mic or in the toaster. A lot of Pop-Tarts, a lot of cereal, and just
like Stover's, what is it, Hamburger Helper?
Yes.
All that stuff.
Yeah, that was a fancy meal a lot of times.
Yeah. that was a Friday night splurge, was Hamburger Helper.
Yeah, you know, and just so much stuff. And I, like young kid, I grew up a lot on, because my mom would work till like 7:30 at night. She worked at the hospital, so she worked late. And so and my dad did the same thing. So it was frozen dinners a lot. You come home and you need something to eat, and I not quite old enough to actually start using a knife and using the oven, so it's frozen dinner for dinner, just to have something to eat. Right. And there's a better chance, I think, that it was just poor diet.
Yeah.
A big part of it. So they want me to get 2 shots a week of testosterone. So I don't know. I'm going to try it out. See what it's like. I bought 3 months worth.
Hey.
So I got...
did they tell you about how much?
Yeah, so I did, because you got to have like this blocker. So you get the testosterone shot for the TRT, and then you get something else that's supposed to, because my doctor, like the lady I went to, she's like, Ryan, this is very, very important. You got to take this other stuff that tells your body, like kind of blocks it, your body from thinking that it's producing that much more, so that you can keep naturally producing testosterone.
HCG.
That's the HCG stuff.
Yeah, so they'll have you on the test, probably HCG, which will help your body continue to produce. It won't turn off your testosterone production. And then they'll probably also recommend, just based off of where your levels are, an AI, like a Rimidex or something.
Yeah, it was like
It's anohydro something 7,315. I forget the.
I can show you real quick. Yeah, it's this one on the bottom. 233 is actually my total test. Oh yeah, Anna Strolzy. Yeah, it's stupid low, but it's crazy because I don't know it, but it could also be that thing that's just I'm so conditioned to having such low testosterone. I just want to know what it's like. I bought 3 months worth. 3 months worth of testosterone and the HCG and the anastrozole, which is what? Is that for like, so I can still, is that for like, I think that's, from what I understand, one of it was so I could still, if I want to have kids.
That's the HCG.
That's the ACG.
Yeah, so human chorionic gonadotropin. So it just stimulates the gonads. Gonadotropin, a stimulator of the gonads to just continue creating your testosterone.
Okay, I see.
That you do have.
I know that was like, she's like, you don't take this without it, Ryan.
Yeah, you know. Once you hit, 40, 45, then you can.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not too big of a deal.
You're not trying to have kids anymore.
Yeah.
She said, well.
Some people are.
Yeah, I mean, my dad had me at 40.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was late. So I don't know. I don't think that's a little late for me.
I know that's where, it probably, your test was so low now because of everything leading up to that point, right? You can't just pinpoint the SARMs or the Pop-Tart or, you can't.
Because when I did SARMs, I did 2 cycles of them, which was like, I think whenever you buy it, it's a pill form.
Yeah.
And honestly, I did see results from it, but I just did a cycle, which is cycle on and then cycle down, I think. Or is it first month's like nothing and the second month? It was like a 2-month thing. But it was like I did it once and then I bought 2 things of it at one time. So it was like a long time, which is different types of SARMs. And I did the LGD, which is like the most Ligandrol, which is like the most potent stuff. From what I understand, though, because I remember guys doing, what was it called? Prohormones.
Yeah.
There was prohormones, which were apparently like a whole nother level. And whenever I was, like, that was before I was really ever working out. And, yeah, it was like, they said that stuff was the stuff that tore up a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And so
it's a little bit heavier and harder on the body.
The only thing from SARMs that I noticed like as a side effect was I would cramp. Like towards the end of my cycle, I would start to cramp up real bad. So other than that, which I don't know if it was like, I wish I would have had blood work done at that time to see.
Yeah.
Definitely before it and definitely after it. And for the cost, you asked about cost. So for 3 months worth of all that, it was $560, I think.
3 months worth?
3 months worth, $560. Yeah, the longer you buy it, the cheaper it gets.
I told Allison, my wife, I told her, if we have a daughter first, I'm juicing.
Really?
I'm gonna be the big bald guy in the neighborhood that everybody's scared of.
Just because,
just if I have a daughter at all, right? Just because obviously she's gonna be wrapped around my finger, and I got to be that big, bald, scary dude that no dude ever comes around her.
Dude, and actually, steroids are the better way to go. The healthier way to go.
They are, as long as you keep it in the testosterone, maybe a couple others, but really just stick to the T, and that'll be fine.
So you're saying just testosterone?
Well, the testosterone, the HCG, I wouldn't go into.
You want to do trend?
I wouldn't do trend.
No, they say trend's like.
That's where I cross. Yeah, I draw the line there.
Okay. Well, I don't look at TRT as like a steroid.
Not really, no.
I think because your body naturally produces it. Whatever trend is, what is trend? You know?
Trenbolone.
Trenbolone?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Everybody says you got to have a trenbolone sandwich.
Yeah.
But no, trend is.
Is it a chemical that
Yeah.
they just put together?
It's probably testosterone. It's either times 10 or times 100 in terms of how much, not more testosterone you produce or that comes into your body, but just how much, I can't think of the term.
But it's a chemically made testosterone.
Yeah. It's one of the,
It's not something your body naturally produces. This is
No.
something that's made in a lab.
yeah. You ever see those cows that are just massive? They're more than likely on tren and some growth hormones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, do you know anyone that's done trend before?
I've
personally?
known of, never actually hung out with.
Any bodybuilder, obviously.
Yeah.
Any dude that's going to be a Mr. Olympia,
They need it.
they're on trend.
Yeah.
C-Bum, you know C-Bum?
He's on
spells that?
everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only say that you're natural for so long, but when you look like that,
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with the gym is that guys and girls coming in, they're looking at guys like this, and they think that they're going to just lift and get in good shape. And it's like, no, guys, it's not like that. Like someone that's natural. I mean, and whenever I took just SARMs, that was, long time ago. I was 25 years old. I'm 30 now. Like, it was a long time, but it has nothing. It doesn't even touch what trend is. But these guys and girls, they're like, I'm just trying to look kind of like this.
Right.
Like I just want to look like I actually go to the gym, and it's tough.
yeah.
Going to the gym does not get you in shape. It builds muscle, but diet is where you're really going to see some results. But to build this muscle mass that some of these guys have, to have these massive like coconut dumbbells or delts, and just to be massive and cut up, that's not natural. You're not everyone wants to lean out and build muscle mass, and I'm like, that's not possible.
Not really going to happen.
No. And the ones that are trying to gain size, I'm like, I just try to tell them, you're going to have to, if you want to be 200 and cut, you're going to have to go up to 220, 225, get a little fat on your body because that's where you build muscle, and then diet down and be at 200, and that's your best bet. But you're still going to lose some muscle along the way unless you're on steroids.
Pretty much.
I know I have a friend that's, he's on trend right now, and it's like 3 months. And the dude has just blew up.
Yeah.
He looks great. He looks great, but
He's just big.
yeah, he's looking good too. But I don't know. For me, it's about being healthy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sacrifice my health for looking good.
Yeah.
Because you can't sustain that.
And looking good for what, 3 years?
Yeah.
4 years. And you might cut off 8, 10, 15 years of your life because of that. But we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. That's why a lot
Most likely you're going to damage.
Yeah, most bodybuilders drop dead. I mean, most of them are dropping dead in their late 20s now.
Yeah.
Or they drop dead, mid 40s or so.
Yeah.
Well after.
And a lot of it's heart attacks, right? Because it's when you're on trend and your body's growing, your heart's trying to pump that blood. Is that right? Is that basically what it is?
Well, a lot of those guys on trend are also on some growth hormone as well, or some kind of secretagogue of growth hormone. So that, of course, is going to not necessarily target your heart, but it's not going to only target your muscles. It's going to target everything in your body, and your heart's going to grow as well. But yeah, with the trend, you get bigger and bigger. Your body has to adapt to that. You can't just grow bigger muscles and expect everything to stay little and the same. Those things have to grow with you. And that's why a lot of the new school bodybuilding, the bloat era, right? All these guys stepping on stage with the 9-month pregnancy bellies, but with abs showing. They take a lot of growth hormone to get to that point. And that's why the golden era will always be the best, at least in my opinion.
I agree, and I think more people are talking about steroids, openly talking about it. I think it needs to be because it's so it makes people think that they can look that way, but maybe they don't even want to try to start the gym because they're like, that's so far out of my realm that they're like, I can't do that. It's too much work. Right. It's like those people are not doing it naturally. That is not a natural human being. That is just on a totally another level. But so many people are on it now that it's starting just to look like that's Instagram, right? You get on Instagram, that's all the women on there. Just they got crazy abs and they got some crazy muscles and just massive butts, and it's just that's not natural. But that's what it's all over, and that's what people are starting to think a normal person looks like. And it's no, it's definitely not.
Honestly, most most women that do have a six pack are probably on something.
That's what I say.
Naturally, women should not be that lean.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be. However, some are, most aren't. But yeah, for a woman to be cut up that, because I know exactly what you're talking about, to be cut up that much, they're on a few things.
Right, and like that's what, like they can have abs, but to have like a chiseled one, and especially if it's as soon as like you start seeing veins start going through it, and like it's interesting. It's very interesting, and I think it's okay if someone wants to do it. Like that's perfectly fine, but I feel like they should. I think it needs to be more open so that people don't think that, hey, this is where I got to be in shape, or this is who I need to be to, I don't know, to be something, because like it's just not achievable for someone to do naturally.
Right.
Have you never got blood work done yourself?
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one was after my second cycle of SARMs. And then the other one we did probably about 1.5 years ago, right before everybody let go at the office, because they were starting to offer a blood work and nutrition package. So we all got to get our blood work done. But the first time, I mean, both times I got my blood work done, my testosterone was low. It was like 430, 450, which is still very, very low. Because the first time I got it done, I think I was 24, and then the last time I was 26. So 450-ish. That's low.
Yeah,
that's low.
They were telling me most guys start feeling around 500.
Yeah,
Like start feeling low tests around that. Now they were saying that if I was in like the 450 range, 500 range, I could just take like a natural test booster to help your body start naturally producing it again. And they're like, it's obviously a lot better for your health to do it that route.
yeah.
So I wasn't that fortunate. I wish I would have. Was it like after the first time you took the SARMs? You never took it before though. You never got a blood test before?
No, I wish I would have though.
Yeah.
That would have been
See if it was
good
like
insight.
What if it actually affected you?
Yeah.
Did you have any like side effects from it?
Let's see. Beside the second time I took it, I mean, it was more diet related, but I put on 25 pounds and I felt like just an elephant or whatever. I just felt bloated all the time. But first time, no, not really. Little bit of hair loss. So I think the third and fourth cycles, I had more hair loss because I did a different SARM at the time. I had a little bit of hair loss. You know, start washing your hair and you're like, oh shit, I'm going bald now already.
Yeah.
But before then, not too much. Just a little bit of bloat, and that was about it.
No cramping though.
No
It's
cramping.
weird how other people get. It's weird how people get different stuff. Do you remember what it was? Was it Ligandrol?
No, I never touched that because I never wanted to bulk up too much. So the first two I did Ostarine.
That's what it is.
Yeah, Ostarine, and then coupled both of those with ibutamorin, which is a growth hormone, not a growth hormone secretagogue, but a ghrelin secretagogue. So it acts very similar to growth hormone. And then the third and fourth time it was RAD 140
Oh yeah.
with ibutamorin. One was with ibutamorin and the other one was without.
A lot of people. Rads was a popular one. That was a pretty safe one though, right?
None of them are technically safe. And then I also did I think 1 or 2 YK11 cycles, and those were the YK11 was crazy compared to anything else that I did.
Got the most results from it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean I'm just talking veins popping out everywhere that I didn't even know
Could exist.
Gosh, yeah.
It was. I put on some size from it because that's what I was always shooting for.
Oh yeah.
But once I started to cramp off of it, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm glad I just got away from it. I'm glad I just didn't do it. I don't know if I'd ever do anything ever again other than the testosterone.
Yeah.
And I just did the 3 months just to see like if I'm going to feel better, like if I will have better energy levels. Like I don't really have like negative thoughts. I don't really have like I have tons of energy. Like I don't know. I just want to see what changes.
Yeah. You got to give anything, a few months time just to see.
Yeah, I don't think. And they told me they wanted me to like do cycles of it too. Basically, like they basically told. Yeah, and then I would just maybe take like maybe a natural test booster in my off time. I really don't know.
Because I think sometimes whenever you do take testosterone, it'll actually kickstart you just a little bit. It'll actually kickstart that natural process a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know if that's how it works or not.
Do you know if there's like you think your body will ever start like producing it again? Like, do you think there's a possible way of that? Or is it kind of just like, this is where it's at now?
You can definitely get it back up to a higher level. There's plenty of people on YouTube. They'll take 9 different herbal supplements, and their test will go from 450 to 900. And you look at them and you go, yeah, that's all you did. You weren't shooting up or nothing.
Right. Yeah. I think of like the Liver King guy. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he was acting like he was natural and not on nothing else.
Everybody knew.
There's no way, dude. But it's guys like him that make such a bad name for it all.
Right.
Because then all of a sudden now, like, people are like, oh, I could look like that naturally. I just got to eat some livers and some raw meat, and it's like, no.
I thought it was, every time you made a video of him eating raw liver or raw testicle, you could see in his face it tasted absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you don't do that every day, man.
No. There ain't no freaking way. There ain't no way. But it got him famous.
Yeah.
It did get him famous, and now he's probably doing pretty good off it. He probably has some followers that don't even care.
Yeah, followers, supplement company. Because he bought into, I think it was Ancestral Supplements.
Okay.
With, it was either that or another one with Paul Saladino. I think they're in business together. And Paul was the one, saying, oh, yeah, Brian Johnson's his name. Yeah, he's natural. He's natural. We're just looking at him. Paul is maybe our size, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then you look at Liver King, and he's just this mammoth.
Yeah.
Like, no way, man. You guys live the same exact way? No way.
Right.
No way.
Exactly. You want to wrap this up? We're probably a couple hours in this right now. 2 hours.
Shoot.
So I don't want to hold you up for too long today. I know you got some stuff going on, and I got some stuff that I probably should get back to today too. There were some things that we didn't get to talk about that I wish we would have talked about, which is not a big deal. But I know there's different styles of chiropractic that I wish we kind of could have talked about. Because there's two. I was renting a room to a chiropractor in my facility, and I knew there was people that really liked his style. But then I also have another chiropractor in town that just comes to my facility, works out, and I've got to really know him. And some people like the one style, some people like the other style. So I kind of wish we could have talked about that, because that's a big thing, ain't it?
Yeah.
The styles.
Yeah, because all chiropractic works. Hands down. It's kind of like gravity. Whether you believe in it or not, it works. But everybody's body is a little bit different, so everybody's body responds to a different style or a different technique. Because there's got to be 50, 60 different techniques out there. It's just some are practiced. 90% of docs practice this one way, another 20% practice this way, and everybody adjusts a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. So it's really all a patient preference. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the dude that was in my facility, I remember he had like rock music on, and he was like doing it to the rock music. Yeah. And okay, so this is another thing. I've never been a chiropractor before. Never had anything adjusted.
I know.
I'm kind of scared to go. I'm kind of scared because I'm scared of what I might find out is wrong with me. Kind of like get my blood work done. I'm like, I can't afford to get anything else fixed.
Oh my gosh, no, dude, you just got to go. Just jump in with that.
But
too.
Also, how do you choose? How do you know who to choose?
Just read the website, call them and talk to them.
Reviews. Like, I don't even know how. Like, I don't even. Everyone knows what chiropractic they like, but it's like I don't even know
where to start.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So if I go to one and it sucks and it's bad, it's like.
And you can even ask them, hey, I didn't quite like what you did. Some people will take that to heart. I don't care. If you don't like what I do, I'll find you somebody that does something just a little bit different that you might like. But yeah, just ask them, hey, I didn't really like this. Do you have another recommendation for somebody else? Or just start trying around,
Just try different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Now, like the expense of it too. Like, is it just a session based? Is that how the pricing is, or is it just one set price for a chiropractor appointment?
It depends kind of where you go. Whether somebody bills insurance in their office, then it's a set price, because of that contract with insurance. If you go to somebody who doesn't bill insurance, then a lot of times they'll either have something like a monthly subscription, kind of like the gym, where you can come back either unlimited times, or you come back once a week or twice a week, what have you. And a lot of times that is straight out of pocket because that office doesn't bill insurance directly. And some people, they're just come once here, come once there, come as needed. I'm not really that way because of my experience with chiropractic. I kept going and kept getting better. So I'm going to keep going, and I keep going now because I just feel better and function better. But yeah, it differs from office to office as well.
So you get chiropractic work done on yourself?
Yeah.
Like how often?
Like twice a week, man.
Really? By your wife, or you pay someone else? That's the one benefit of both of you guys doing
Right. No.
chiropractic work.
Yeah, like what was it this weekend? On yesterday, I was cutting up some boxes, some wood and stuff to make some boxes because we're going to be moving. And my sinuses they're still kind of clogged up, but I got all that sawdust in there and they're just inflamed. She's working on me, adjusting me, and working on my sinuses, doing some sphenoid adjustments, adjusting my ears, everything.
So that's just so crazy.
Yeah.
What someone can really do. It's just insane. Yeah, I probably will try one of these days. I wish I still had the chiropractor in my facility, so I can.
Just do it.
I wish I still had the guy in my facility, so I could just walk over and say, "Hey, man, can I hop in here someday and just try it out?"
Dude, a lot of docs like to barter.
I don't even know just to go in and be like, "Hey, can you just look me over and find out if there's something wrong with me?" Because I don't have any pain, no nothing like that either. So it's like.
And what somebody has probably told you in this room is that is the perfect time to start.
She probably has. I probably just ignored it. I don't take advice very well from other people.
That is the perfect time to start because if you're not in any aches or pains right now, that means that your body hasn't technically degenerated to the point where you're experiencing symptoms, right? Your body's it's a constant battle of degeneration and regeneration, and just that constant stress going back and forth. But there will come a point, because matter has limitations, where you're going to start to feel the symptoms. And there's a lot of people, they'll have the symptoms, then they'll go away. They'll have it, go away. Then they'll have it for 2 weeks, it'll go away. And then a month, and then the symptoms stay. And they go, well, the last 6 times, it just went away, and this time it's not. I'm like, well, those were all of your signs that you needed to do something about it.
Sure.
So if you start now.
Is there a too late? Like if you wait too long for some stuff, can it be too late?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anybody at that point, but there's been a few that have been pretty close where I just said, I can't do anything. Sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy. I see a lot. I have a friend that he has something with his spine. He's always had something with his spine, and he has to go in all the time. And that's like something for him. It's just like, he's like, I felt like crap, and so I started going. And then he's like, now I go. And he's like, there's certain things that he knows he just can't do. Like squatting with a barbell. He's like, nah, if I look at a barbell, my back's getting jacked up. So he's like, I just don't do it anymore.
Well, I'll be honest. A squat is probably one of the stupidest lifts to do, because you're literally just loading your spine with more weight. I mean, I still squat sometimes, but I have toned it down a lot. But it's not a very good lift for even developing any sort of actually developing muscles.
Yeah.
Strength, yes, but.
Yeah, because you're not really isolating just one muscle group.
Right.
Like with a squat, it's not like if you do like a leg extension, you're isolating your quad. Your leg curl, you're isolating your hamstrings. But a squat, you're just working a lot of different muscles, and it's hard on your back. Yeah. I mean, I even feel it like in your back, like especially if you're lifting heavy, you can kind of feel it like tension, like tighten up your spine when you're doing it. And especially after talking to him, and I get the benefit of talking to a lot of people that come to my gym, and they just come to my office and they tell me everything, everything that's wrong with them. And that's a big reason why I went and got my blood work done. There was a dude that came in and his blood was too thick, so he has to give blood because it was going to start causing problems with him. And they're like, yeah, good thing you did this. You need to start giving blood just once a year, I think is all it took for him. But I'm like, I want to find out like if there's something wrong with me. But now I go to the leg press machine a lot more than I go to squat. I never really liked squat anyway. It's just an uncomfortable movement. Right. Just to put it all on there. Right. So, yeah, let's wrap this up. Looks like I got my AC unit is at my facility. So that's probably who's trying to call me. Scott, I appreciate you coming out on the podcast. It's been a ton of fun. I think a lot of people are going to like it. I know it was a bit of a drive for you to come out here. So it does mean a lot to me that you took the time out of your day and came out. Anyone that's listening to the podcast, make sure you guys like it, subscribe, share, just show some love for Scott for coming out here. Anything you want to plug? You want to plug your page?
I mean-
Tell you want to go like it. It might not really. It could probably still benefit you.
I mean, I have a TikTok, I guess. I haven't posted a video in probably 4 months.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Dr._Scotty. That's about it. You can also follow our Facebook page. I think my wife made an Instagram as well. It's just Renegade Health Centers, and you can see a picture of myself and her on there.
Okay. Yeah. Go like
Easy
it.
peasy.
Go check it out. Share it. Help it grow. And thanks for coming out.
Well, thank you, man.